to the Three Spurs Boys, in which we can finally make up three. Usually it'll just be me and Kush. And I wonder why, Kush.
Yeah, Mom told us to bring Mom this
You
time.
play nice, okay? Your mom told you have to let me on the show. You have to let me on the show, okay?
Okay.
But the reason they let me on is because this is not their regular pregame or postgame show. We are doing something completely different. And what a way to kick it off, boys.
Yeah.
What a way to kick it off. Welcome, everybody, to Off the Pitch with the Three Spurs Boys. This is where we're just going to take you into the lives of people that are football fans out there, people you might know, people you might not know. But after this, hopefully you get to know them a little bit better. We're really looking forward to bringing some exciting guests and getting to know them. We want to get to know them. Hopefully you want to get to know them. And we're pumped. And I think we've started off with a really good guest here, guys.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to start off high, start off in the gold standard. And why not start off with the man himself, Alasdair Gold?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome, Mr. Gold. Thank you so much for taking the time out to join us on this very special day as we launch our new little window into our channel, our new show in our channel here. You are, sir, off the pitch. So don't worry, don't be too tense. You can sit back, put your arms up, relax, Ali. We are just going to sit back and have a good old chat with you. But we are going to have to ask you some serious questions because I know the people out there, they want to know the real Mr. Gold. So let's start off with, everybody knows you're a very prominent journalist. Everybody reads you. Everybody knows you are. They're watching you. They're following your YouTube channel you've got going now. You sit down. You give us great insight, not only just into the Spurs community, but into football overall. So how long have you been doing this, and when did it get started? Where did it get started?
Oh, a long time. Thank you very much for this incredible intro. That was fantastic. I've been journalist since 2003, so almost 20 years now. That is, especially when you cover Tottenham Hotspur, it makes you feel old as well, and I feel old when I say that. But actually covering Spurs...
I'm only 18. I've got white hair.
I've been covering Spurs since the summer of 2016. So what are we up to? About 6 years now. So, yeah, it feels like a lot longer. But no, it's been an incredible experience. I used to work in just news, covering crime and things like that. Then I went into sport, covered non-league sport, worked my ways up the league, and eventually the Premier League came calling, and that's what I do today.
So it was just basically a stroke of luck and some combination of events working into your favor that kind of got you into the sports side? Or did you always want to venture into sports journalism?
More that I always wanted to venture into it. And then I worked at kind of a lower local level. And in that level, I became, I suppose, a bit of a boss. I was like a big group sports editor of lots of different newspapers. And we started to cover Spurs within that. And then the people at Football to London, who I work for now, they saw what I was doing and they said, we'd like you to come across and do that for us. And that was it. And that's where we get to where we are now.
Well, I just want to say to whoever at Football London decided to make that phone call, good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice. Now, Ali, we look at other journalists and stuff like that. We read their articles and stuff like that. A lot of it ends up becoming, I'm going to say a term that you guys in England like to use, waffle. It's garbage. It's nonsense. So why is it that a lot of your articles and most of the information that you're providing is a lot more reliable and more factual? Is it your sources, or where is it that you get this concrete information versus just what's floating in the air?
Well, first off, I've got to say there are a lot of good journalists out there, and certainly I'm not the only one that tries to get the truth. There's a lot out there, very, very good, especially on the
Well, I
Tottenham
don't mean
scene.
to discredit anybody.
Yeah. No, I think we're quite fortunate on the Tottenham scene that there's a fair few very good ones that cover the team on a regular basis. I think with me, I always have this saying, and anyone that kind of watches my videos know this. For me, it's always important to be right rather than first. And I think in this kind of modern age with the internet especially and social media, there's a lot of people who just want to get information out there as quickly as they can and want to beat everyone else. And if you don't check it properly, that can be wrong. And the trouble is people will often believe the first thing they see, not the right thing they see.
100%.
So for me, I won't put a single thing out until I get a second source confirming it. And that's always been the key for me. That's how I used to do it when I used to write about news. Maybe that's what's helped me. I used to write about such important subjects, murder investigations, things that were involving life and death. And if you put the wrong information out in that, it can have really awful consequences for a lot of people. So I think maybe I brought that, taking that into a very serious, dark path, but you know what I mean, bringing that into football. I think that's always been key to me, is be right. I will certainly be first a few times, I'd hope, and that comes through having good contacts and sources. But for me, as long as what I'm putting out is right, and then, like you say, hopefully I end up getting a bit of a reputation for people thinking if I say it, maybe it's something that is actually happening or about to happen.
Well, I can tell you in this house, when we see a certain gentleman who we won't name because he's not here, but you are, there's two people that when we see the names come up in an article that we know that these are coming from reliable sources and this is potentially going to happen, because you know how it is, boys, being Spurs fans, the rumor mill is always churning out something. Always churning out something.
It is. Well, thank you. But I should also stress, even when you get a second source on something, it doesn't always mean it's going to happen. Especially with transfers. So many things can happen. So many things can change.
Yeah.
And I can report something that's absolutely factually correct, and then 24 hours later, it doesn't happen. So we're in a business where, unfortunately, people might remember those little moments where things didn't quite work out the way that Tottenham wanted it or the player wanted it. But it's all part of the game.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, as the best journalist, not just in Spurs, but in the world, you must have interviewed thousands and thousands of people by now, hundreds, maybe thousands. Yeah. Out of all of them, who's the most influential person you've ever interviewed?
That's a difficult one. I've been fortunate, especially when I used to cover different sports. So I've interviewed Lewis Hamilton, that's, for example, outside football. I've interviewed him. Yeah, he was very cool as well. People in various sports, and obviously footballers from years gone by as well. Lots of Spurs legends, certainly in recent years. And obviously, I'm very fortunate with the managers that Spurs have had. Even just with them, you think about Spurs have had some of the biggest managers in football in recent years. Jose Mourinho. If you'd asked me 10 years ago, would I be someone that would be speaking to Jose Mourinho every week? The world hangs on his every word. They really do. When he came to Spurs, for example, I think Twitter account got another 2 million followers within the first few weeks.
Wow.
Because he has such a big fan base around the world.
Right.
Trust me, anything that wasn't maybe complimentary about something Jose Mourinho did, I soon found out about it because I had lots of people on my Twitter coming in underneath, making it very clear what I'd done. So I think in terms of influential, I'd probably put Jose at the top because I think so many people hang on his every word that I think, to interview him, it was a very interesting experience.
Interesting. Good call. Good call.
Oh.
You're up. You're not here to just look pretty. Ask the man a question.
What is your favorite Spurs football chant?
Oh, that's now you're getting into the tough stuff.
That is a good one. I think I used to always like the Dele Alli one. I've got to admit. I know he's no longer at Spurs, but there was just something about it. For me, the best Spurs chants are the ones that are original in terms of for that player. They're not ones that has been repurposed for another player that used to have it. And I just love the Dele Alli song for that. I know other
you only cost $5 million and you're better than Ozil.
Exactly.
We got Dele Alli.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you used to see him when he heard that song. He just had a smile. He did. And the first moment that the South Stand sang it at the new stadium, when on the opening night against Crystal Palace, it just boomed out, and it just goes like the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. For me, I love that chant. I do.
Good to know. Good to know. Now, you've interviewed, like he already said, a lot of influential people. Have you yourself, because now you've been doing the sports end of it for 6 years and almost a more serious end before that, have you ever felt intimidated but going into an interview by the person you're interviewing, knowing like even Mourinho, the first time you were ever going to go out there and talk to Mourinho, who was that one person that you felt intimidated by or almost overwhelmed that, oh my God, I'm interviewing this person?
These are good questions. You guys, you ask really good. Honestly, you'd be good in the press conferences with these questions.
Feel free to fly us over anytime. Three Spurs boys. We just need 3 Spurs. I'll put him in my lap and save Football London some money.
Do you know what? And this is a really cheesy answer, and it sounds like I'm some kind of like superhero type, but I'm really not. I don't really get intimidated in these ones. And I think, again, I think it goes back to my past and what I used to do. Because in my job before, I'd have some really kind of horrible scenarios where I'd have to, because of the job, I'd have to knock on doors of a family, maybe where someone had just died, and then talk to them about that person and talk about, a lot of times those families want to speak about the lovely things that person did and put tributes in the paper. I'd have to go to places where, for example, I can remember always in my mind where there'd been a big fire, and I had to go and knock, essentially, and talk to the people who'd had such an awful time with the fire. So I think, hopefully, that's maybe why I have a little bit of context in what I do. I don't get too carried away with things. I don't get too excited, and I also don't. You probably won't see me crying too much on video as well, because I think I have that grounding from what I did before. So probably in my head, when I interview a big person, let's say Jose Mourinho, to me, he's just a football manager, you know, and I know he's more than that to a lot of people, but for me, I know what he's doing and I know what my job is, and as long as I've properly researched, I shouldn't have to worry about it.
So you've got a bit of background knowledge, you know who you're kind of coming up against in a sense, so you almost know what to expect from that person then. Yeah,
and Jose would throw you a curveball. He liked to try and sometimes give you an answer to make you look silly. I remember when I talked to him about Japhet Tanganga, and we all thought Japhet's contract was coming to an end, but Jose knew very well that the club had taken an option to extend it, which none of us knew existed. So even with Jose, he can make you look like a bit of a plonker in a press conference. So it can happen at any time.
Thanks, Jose.
What or who inspired you to become a journalist?
Oh, do you know what? This is where I'm going to sound like a little kid.
Good.
When I was young, yeah, exactly. When I was young, I had 2 jobs that I wanted to either do, and that was to either be a reporter or an archaeologist. And anyone that knows their movies might be able to guess where they came from. Because as a kid, my 2 favourite movies were Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, so I was either going to be like Indiana Jones when I grew up and be an archaeologist, or I was going to be a reporter like Clark Kent in Superman.
Okay.
And so I went rather than going into ancient Egypt and going through tombs and stuff like that. I thought, you know what, I'll do the reporting one, and that's exactly. There's no journalist in my family. It was purely because of Superman, which is utterly ridiculous.
Not us. I think these guys, you just inspired them, because Mom's always saying you're not going to learn anything from movies. Well, now we can actually say she was wrong. Oh wait, you can see this. Oh well, I'll pay for that later. It's okay. Some things are worth it.
Okay. Why do you support Spurs, and when did you start supporting them?
When I arrived in this world, I had no choice. I come from a big Spurs supporting family, and my dad was very clear from the start I was going to be born with a cockerel on my chest. What I would say is, obviously, being a journalist, you do end up switching that fan side off a bit. You've got to be objective.
Yes.
You've got to, I can't, let's say a North London derby, I can't just run, Arsenal were rubbish and all this sort of stuff. I have to look at it from a more objective view.
They were.
And hopefully that comes across in what I write, because I try not to go to 2 extremes at either end. And that is one of the downsides, I'd probably say, of journalism as well, is that, so let's, for example, say that night in Amsterdam when Lucas Moura scored that incredible goal, everyone else was probably going absolutely crazy, all the Spurs fans. I'm doing this. I'm just away. I'm going to look down and write my thoughts. Exactly. In my head, I'm punching the air, but I've got to work and I've got to do that. And I think that ultimately takes a bit of the emotion out of it. But certainly, yeah, I had no choice. I was always going to be a Spurs fan.
Well, good job, Daddy Gold. Because I followed in your father's footsteps, and I made my kids Spurs fans as soon as they popped out. Yeah, we made them Spurs fans first, and then we named them. In that order, I think, too, right? Yeah. So now we know that you are a family man. Would you like to tell us about your family a little bit there first? Married, children? What's the situation there?
Yeah, married, 2 girls. They tolerate football. They're not huge football fans, but to be fair, if you probably spoke to them, they probably give you a fair bit of information about Tottenham and football because they just naturally absorb it, I think, because they hear me talking about it so much. And they did come with me to the Newcastle match because I was very lucky. I got asked to do a review of the H Club, the very fancy restaurant up in the stadium. So I got to bring my wife and 2 daughters. I had to explain to them, though, Spurs won 5-1 that day, if you remember. I had to explain to them, Tottenham isn't always like this. You're not going to sit in fancy seats, in incredible food. We had Sir Kenneth Branagh, the actor, only a few seats away from us.
Oh, wow.
Tottenham scored 5 goals, 4 of them right in front of them, in front of the South Stand. I had to explain, it's not always like this, and we can't afford to bring it to the H Club every week. But, they loved it.
£2,000 a week for dinner, no problem.
So that's my family, and they appreciate that this job has long hours, and I've got to do a lot of travelling, and it's going to take me away from them at times, and that's why it's key whenever I am around to try and spend as much of it with them as possible.
100%. And may I ask how old they are?
Older daughters. So my oldest is 23. And youngest is 18. So, they're older girls.
When did you have them? When you were like 5 years old?
Pretty much, yeah. So, they keep me busy, and they're both good girls.
Good. Now, being on that topic right now, we know being a family member and everything. I'm sure at the beginning when you took this job on, went into journalism, you enjoyed the travel. You got to see all these different cities, go around the world. Now you get to go to all these different stadiums around the world, these different grounds, meeting all these influential people in football, players, managers, other people that are behind the scenes that we don't see as the influence in the club, but they truly are. Do you find the travel that you possibly enjoyed at the beginning to be a bit of a burden now because you have a family to kind of be home to as well? Or are you able to juggle?
I think unfortunately, like I say, because they're older, the girls, so they're kind of doing their own thing now. My oldest, she's an accountant. The youngest is heading off to uni in a couple of months, university. Oh, wow. So, there's probably, I was fortunate maybe that when they were growing up, I wasn't doing what I'm doing now. So I wasn't away from them for those probably quite important years. Whereas now, travel's not too bad. It's mostly restricted, isn't it, to the weekend, to one of the weekend days. The odd stay over if it's a night match like the Premier League deciding that Spurs had to play Liverpool at 7:45 on a Saturday night, which was of no help to anyone whatsoever. So I had to stay over. I mean, it's mainly going to be like, let's say, Korea. So I'm going to Korea this summer for the pre-season tour. So that will take me away from them all for 7 days. And in the past, I've done the American tours, which they can be up to 12 days away with Spurs, which, that's much more difficult, obviously. But thankfully, today's world, like this, I can speak to them from wherever I am over a video, and we do that every day. And, some of the journeys, maybe in England, it can be quite interesting when I'm having to travel on the train back from a match, trying to write my stuff, and I'll have lots of very nice but very perhaps drunken Spurs fans around me, all wanting to talk about
drunken football fans. No,
I've been very fortunate. They're always lovely people, but my goodness, I will get back and I'll look at my computer and I've written about 2 sentences. When I had a 2-hour train journey where I was meant to write, 1,000 words. But that's probably the one bit that can be a challenge.
Well, you mentioned that most of it's been restricted to weekends. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it looks like you'll be busy on Wednesday nights too.
Good. It's better than Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Champions League.
Wednesdays and Tuesdays.
What person, past or present, would you love to interview?
Sorry, say that again.
What person, past or present, would you love to interview?
Oh, good question. Sorry, it just cut out my audio just for a minute there.
Yeah.
Past or present? So does it have to be football? Can it be anyone?
Anybody.
Okay, so if I'm going to pick non-football, I'm going to pick one alive and one no longer alive. I would pick Harrison Ford, because he was always my hero as a growing up. I used to love his, obviously, Indiana Jones. Yeah. And someone who's not alive, I would pick Robin Williams. I used to absolutely adore Robin Williams, and he's the funniest man ever in the world. So I would love to do him. In terms of footballers, in the football world, I've been very fortunate. I've interviewed pretty much most of the people I've wanted to have dreamed of interviewing. I've been very, very lucky. A lot of the legends when I was growing up. Probably like to sit down with Gaza. He's one that I didn't get. I'd be interested to see what he'd be like to sit down and interview. In terms of maybe someone that's no longer with us, I think Jimmy Greaves would have been very interesting. He did, from a Tottenham perspective, I think he was an incredible player, and obviously also had difficulties in his life as well and things that happened. And I think as life stories go, I think he would have been incredible.
Right.
Who is your favorite football player in general and in Spurs?
In Spurs, it's a tough one. It is a tough one. I love Sonny. I think Sonny is fantastic. I love interviewing Sonny is a joy. He's the happiest guy in the world. He genuinely is. And that's, like I say, going to Korea in the summer is going to be incredible to see how the Korean fans take to him, because I've seen him in LA and they swarm around. It was just incredible. So to see him in his homeland, I'd say Sonny is it's either Sonny or I'm also very fond of Oliver Skip, because I've watched Oliver come through from the academy. I used to cover a lot of academy matches, and hopefully now the pandemic's finished, I can get back to doing that as well. So I've seen him kind of as a 15-year-old working his way all the way up. So I've got like a bit of a connection with Skippy. And I think I did his first interview as well. I think I did his first kind of sit-down long interview with him. So those two are probably my favourite at the moment. Although I think Kulusevski could end up being one as well. He's brilliant.
Yes.
In terms of outside of Spurs, as a kid growing up, Gary Lineker and Teddy Sheringham were my heroes. They were my heroes.
Hey.
So those.
Yeah, that's my guy.
You should tell him.
And current players, I think Kevin De Bruyne is incredible.
Amazing.
I think he is just. I know everyone talks about Mbappe and obviously Ronaldo and Messi and the like. I think as a man who influences his entire team and how they play, I think De Bruyne is just incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see why Kane picked him as a player that he'd ever want to play with. The guy's just absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Right. So now the last serious question we'll give you, I think.
Okay.
Now, I know this one's going to involve some thought. If you have a pen and paper and you want to use it, we'll allow you. So Conte said that he wants 6 players at bare minimum. That is his magic number that he's thrown out there. We've heard it consistently over the last little while. Who would you like to see come in that is a realistic target for us? Which 6 players do you think could possibly influence us?
6 players. Right. Okay. I'll go for Alessandro Bastoni, centre-back from Inter Milan.
Yeah.
23. I think he'd be like Romero on the left. Although I'd say Ben Davies is a brilliant season. I think he'll provide really great competition for him.
Yes.
I really wouldn't be against seeing Christian Eriksen come back. I think if Conte wants to switch to a 3-5-2, I think he'd be perfect for that. And on a free transfer would make a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. And I think it would be a different Eriksen to the Eriksen that left Tottenham. because let's be honest, a lot's happened in his life since then.
Yeah.
I would also think I've always liked Ivan Perisic.
Yeah.
Always liked him. I think as a wing back, someone that Conte's worked with as a wing back as well, essentially converted him into a wing back. I think. Yeah. I think he could be a
winger, and then he pushed him back at Milan. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he may well still stay at Inter, but if he doesn't, I'd like to think the Conte effect could maybe help him towards Tottenham. So that's what we're up to 3. Let's have a think. Who else? I'd say, as a young British player, I really like Jed Spence. He's at Nottingham Forest on loan from Middlesbrough. Yeah. I think Spurs have got to kind of be wary of their homegrown numbers. So I'd say him as a right wing back. I think would be fantastic.
And he's reasonable, right? You're saying he'd probably be about 15 or 20 million.
Yeah, around that. Obviously, if Forest go up, I think they'll probably be first in line to sign him. But I think, Spurs will certainly have a go. So we're up to 4. I think you need another striker. I know Spurs, their targets are very kind of expensive strikers who I don't think realistically they'll be able to get because of the game time those strikers would get if they joined. But if I were to pick one of them, I like is it Victor Osimhen at I think he's at Napoli now, isn't he? He was at Lille and he was superb at Lille, and he's really kind of cracked on at Napoli. He had a really good season. I think he'd be terrific. I've got to do one more, haven't I?
We need a right wing back. I'll make it easy for you. Oh, that's
no,
right. We need a midfielder.
And a backup goalie.
We had Ericsson.
You said Ericsson. That would be up. We need somebody to help with if we need to go to a middle 3 in the middle.
Okay, all right. I'll give you another midfielder then. I go for Yuri Tielemans from Leicester.
You take Tielemans over James Ward-Prowse?
Yeah, I would. I think James Ward-Prowse is superb, and I think set pieces is unrivaled. I just think maybe Tielemans has a bigger ceiling, as for his potential. I think he's only got maybe a couple of years left on his contract, if that. And he's a player that Spurs always liked. And I think can you imagine that? Tielemans, Ericsson, let's say Skip, Bentancur, Højbjerg, probably Winks will go, I think, to get regular football. That's incredible options in your midfield.
Yeah.
Now, we've got to add to the list because sometimes life is about a bit of fantasy and dreaming too. Any one dream player, any team in the world, no budget, who would you want to see in this kit?
Past present?
You should know my answer. You should know my answer. It was already the answer to the other question. Kevin De Bruyne.
De Bruyne?
De Bruyne comes in. Kane, Son, and Kulusevski probably score 30 goals each in these seasons. Honestly, you think of him pulling the strings. See, I know it shocked you that answer. I know, but honestly, he really would. He would. The assist would be incredible.
Yeah, the balls he can play. It's just the way he sprays that ball out.
And Kane could just be a striker. Amazing. Yeah, Kane wouldn't have to worry about dropping deep. He knows that ball's coming to him.
He can actually stay in his role instead of having to do everybody else's.
Yeah.
You want to add something?
I did, but not anymore.
You did, but not anymore? Okay.
What
one player in the world would you like to see come in? Anyone? Anybody?
You
always say Mbappe.
Messi.
I say Mbappe.
No, not Mbappe anymore? You got to pick one soon, buddy. Ali's only got a certain amount of time here.
What position would you like to see a new player in?
There you go. Ali's asking you, what position would you like to see a new player in?
Center mid.
Center mid?
Center mid.
Well, then.
So go on then.
Center. Okay, well, who are the best center attacking midfielders in the world then? De Bruyne could be up there, right?
Nkunku.
Yeah.
But how old is he?
Like 23.
Oh, he's like young. He's like 22, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a young one. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like 22 and like 81 rated in FIFA.
Oh yeah, he's 81 rated in FIFA, so he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good.
Joao Cancelo. You can play left or right.
Yeah, I love Cancelo. Yeah,
He is class.
Yeah.
He is class.
Yeah, he is.
What about you?
What about me?
Yeah.
Before you answer,
Mhm.
I just wanted to let you know. So sometimes in FIFA we do drafts. So we
Yeah.
take any player in the world, right, and put him on a team, right? And
Yeah.
on my draft on the PS5, I have Joao Cancelo.
There you go. Yeah, you got good
Kevin
taste.
De Bruyne, right? Yeah, he has Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, for me, I love Højbjerg, but I'd love to have N'Golo Kante. I've just the work rate that man puts in, the effort, the endless running, the passing, his ability to get up in the attack and still be able to track back and defend. He's just the man is just all over the field all day.
I have him on my draft too.
Okay, we've got to be your draft. Fantastic. We're not going to go over your whole draft team. We'll do another show with that one. Okay, so
all good choices. I like them. All good choices.
Do you think Conte is the most elite manager that Enoch has ever brought in?
I think you're
no.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he has to be. I mean, obviously, Jose Mourinho is one of the most successful managers in the history of football. But I'd probably say that Conte is the one who maybe has got more recent title wins, I guess, in his career. So maybe you could look and say Mourinho was at a point where he was ready to take on a team that was maybe a bit more of a challenge, whereas Conte is more of a surprise because, and it sounds awful, but he isn't used to lowering himself to a team that's in that much trouble, I think.
Yeah.
And a team that is not expected to win the league title. And the fact that he came in, I think there was a massive coup for Tottenham and for Enoch. And now, hopefully, and I think they do realise they've got to be a very different Tottenham Hotspur next season to keep him. And but that could be a good thing for all of us.
Yeah.
Okay. What other sports do you like to watch or play?
To play, when I was young, I played a lot of tennis, and I wasn't too bad, actually. If I say so myself, I was all right at tennis. I was good. A bit of a junior tournament player. In terms of ones I like to watch, NFL. I'm a big NFL man. I do. I seem to like pain and suffering, clearly, because the Giants are my team. So,
whoa, we're gonna have to end this interview here now. Thank you. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, so what the Giants did to us in the first Super Bowl that we lost, before we lost 3 more in a row, still hurts. The first Super Bowl we were in, we lost to the Giants by 1 point on Scott Norwood wide left field goal. He missed a 43-yard field goal when he hadn't missed one shorter than I think 46 yards all season, and in the final he misses one. Yeah, so. Painful memories. On that note, let's go on to the next question.
Yeah. What is your favorite stadium to go to and why, other than the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium?
No, you took away my favorite stadium.
We didn't think the kids were going to make it easy on you now.
I know. In terms of
throw you a Mourinho curveball.
Exactly. In the world, I would say when we went to Minneapolis on the Spurs tour, we got into the US Bank Stadium. They played there, the Vikings Stadium. That was incredible.
Is that the one that's got the retractable dome too?
Yes. Well, yeah. I think, to be honest, a lot of the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I think, is based on that stadium.
Gotcha.
I think you can see it when we went in it. And that was incredible. For me, until the Tottenham Stadium opened, that was the one for me. I'd never seen anything like it. In terms of the Premier League, Old Trafford definitely has that thing about it. It's definitely got that kind of you feel you're in a legendary stadium. It's interesting when you go there after being at the Spurs Stadium. You can see how much updating it needs. It's an old stadium.
Oh, okay, right.
But in terms of the history of it, it's pretty incredible. But you took my favourite one, the Spurs Stadium. I spent 2 years walking around that stadium as it was being built. So now it's open. I didn't just literally every day just walk around.
One second, Ali. 1 second. Come here, boys.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah.
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 Okay. We've agreed. We'll let you have the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as your number one.
Yes, thank you.
We'll let you have it. We'll let you have it. All right. Yeah. You've
Um,
influenced our decision in our questions.
Excellent.
now,
Oh, whoa. Are you getting into the hard ones now for him?
Mhm.
Oh, boy. Okay.
this is one of the most
Wait, can I,
serious ones.
before you get into the serious, can I ask one more personal one first before we get into the serious stuff?
Okay.
Because he shared something with me the other day, boys. He said to me that he wouldn't be able to do this Thursday because he plays football on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Really?
So Mr. Gold keeps himself in shape on the pitch, even though right now
We're
off the pitch. What position, sir, do you like to play when you're playing football?
Well, I'm going to ask you that question. Bearing in mind my heroes were Gary Lineker and Teddy Sheringham. Where do you think I
He's a man up front.
Well, I'm
He's the
up
man
there
up
too.
front.
play? I am. I play up front.
But which
And
one are you more like? Lineker or Sheringham?
Teddy Sheringham, but even slower, I think.
Good pick. Good pick.
Yeah.
That's
I like
my
to come
favorite.
back. I like to come back and be a bit of a number 10 and pass the ball around a bit as well. And I don't know if you guys saw, but I was very lucky the other day. I got to play on the Tottenham Stadium pitch.
Oh.
Were you with Ben, Sim, and all that, the Henry Wright thing? You were in
No, they were on a different day.
there?
We were on the day before. We were on Monday. The journalists got to play a game. And I must admit, I missed a big chance. A corner came in, jumped up, beat my man, got my header on it, and it flashed right across the left-hand post. All night, I was lying in bed, just dreaming of the moment I should have scored at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I really was.
Same here. So in my games, right,
Yeah.
I had like 17 penalties in the whole season. I scored
17.
I only
You
scored
had like 5.
Cushion, you had 4 and you scored 2.
4.
I scored 1.
You scored 1 and missed
2.
No, 2.
But can I just ask,
One.
why do they keep making you take penalties if you're missing them?
I know.
It was
right?
Dad's fault. It was his fault.
He taught me how to take it, and I missed his.
Oh, it's your fault.
And then when I did
Your
it
dad
myself,
being the coach has nothing to do with this,
when
okay?
I started with power and just launched it, I scored. He told me to go low and hard, right, Dad?
No, he said go low. No, don't focus on power. Focus on accuracy. The goalie saved it twice.
You guys do know when the stream ends, it's just the 3 of us alone. Your mom's not here.
That was the penalty.
Okay, just saying.
But you know how they teach
you
them
have
to
to
take good penalties.
I think it's a good one.
What was that, sorry?
You know how to take a good penalty.
There you go.
Aim for the inside of the post. Aim
Thank-
inside the post, and that
Thank
always.
you, Mr. Gold. And what?
Okay, he's talking
And
from
what?
a proper professional net. The nets that they have are like this and tall. That's it. It's so short. And Dad's like, oh, go for the corners. And the goalie's like this big.
You know what? Let's go see. You're going off topic now. You're going off. You're going too far off topic.
He's making it on professional.
Now we let Ali have a little bit of a laugh. We let him relax before the serious question starts. Now, are you
Okay.
ready?
Okay.
This is one of the most serious ones. That I will be
If you
doing.
need a moment, you can take it.
This is gonna
You
take.
phone a friend.
This took me a pretty long time to figure out. Who is your favorite superhero?
You know the answer to
Yeah.
it.
I know the answer.
Other than Superman.
Oh, you ruined it again.
Curveball. Curveball.
Ooh. Do you know what?
To be fair, technically, you ruined it for yourself by giving us the answer before we got
Yeah.
to
I
the
did. It's all my fault. It is. I am my own kryptonite, aren't I? It's a close one. I love Thor. Thor Ragnarok was one of my favorite Marvel movies.
Yeah.
It's so good.
The Hulk in that one. The Hulk.
I do like a bit of Batman as well. Batman is very cool. Batman and Spider-Man.
Did you like the new Batman though?
It was all right. It was a bit.
I liked the movie. I wasn't a fan of who they chose
Yeah.
as the new Batman.
He was okay. It was a bit like a perfume commercial, the way it was filmed. A bit of it, but I prefer the Dark Knight. I do.
Yes. Well too.
But yeah, it's between probably Batman and Thor. One of those.
So we'll call him Thorman.
Thorman.
Thorman
Yeah.
it is. We'll give you a mix in the middle there.
Dad, who's your favorite?
Who's my favorite?
Superhero.
Mark,
Other
you
than
know
Hulk.
who my... Oh, dude, you can't do that. You
Purple,
can't know the...
purple,
You can't know my answer and then take it from me. We're supposed to be doing that to Ali. You can't do that to your own dad.
purple.
I'll give you a curveball in a second here. But I'll go my second man, the cheeky, funny one. Gotta go Deadpool.
Other than Deadpool. Curveball.
I had an elbow ball. Hold on a second. Iron Man. There now. Shut it.
I forgot about Deadpool. He's
Sorry,
fantastic.
what was that?
I forgot about Deadpool. He's brilliant as well.
Gotta love. I just like the actor that plays him. I adore Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds.
Yeah,
I think
me
he's
too.
just hilarious.
I get teased. My family tease me about my love for all things Ryan Reynolds. They do.
That's okay. Then we share that bond, sir. We share that bond. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with appreciating another good-looking man.
Very funny, man.
Who scored your favorite goal for Tottenham, and what goal was it?
Probably that Lucas Moura goal in Amsterdam that night.
The third one.
Even though we got covered in beer when that happened, because all the very angry Ajax fans above us
Oh, right.
threw all of their beer down on the press area. So the journalist next to me, his laptop pretty much exploded as he was about to write his match report. Mine, I had 3 different keys stop working, and my mouse wouldn't work on it either. But it was still the greatest moment, probably, of football that I've ever witnessed. It was.
Some things are worth being doused in beer for.
Honestly, exactly. A stank of beer for the whole kind of night. And everyone thought I'd just gone into a pub drinking. But it was, I mean, you can't, a Hollywood scriptwriter couldn't write that ending. It was that incredible.
Yeah.
I know we jumped out of our skin when we were watching that game.
I personally didn't watch that game. I wasn't really a Tottenham fan.
I wasn't there either.
That was the Ajax one.
I know.
Oh, no, I went to the pub to watch it. That's why. Okay, so I went to the pub without you. Big deal. You have one more tough one? Well, got one more toughie for him, right?
Tough one.
Yeah,
So,
but this will make the last tough one for him, okay?
okay.
Gotta let him get back to his
I'm gonna
family
make it.
soon.
I'm gonna make it a little more tougher than it originally was.
Uh-oh.
So the original question was, if you were to have one superpower, what would it be? I'm gonna make that 5 superpowers. What 5 superpowers and what? Would
That's easier.
That's
Yeah.
easier.
Really?
One.
You're giving him
Keep it
more
at one.
options.
Keep it at 1.
Yeah.
3. Let's go in the middle.
No, because we're all gonna share. Like, if I
No, because by the time he's done 5, there's none left.
Yeah.
What are we gonna get?
okay, then 3.
3. Okay.
Ruin
If you'd asked me one, if you'd asked me one, I would have picked to fly, because I think that's such a cool thing to be able to do.
Oh yeah, like Superman.
Superman. Yeah, pretty much these are all going to be Superman, aren't they? So the second one would have been strength, because it'd be pretty cool if someone fired a bullet and it just meant nothing. Third one, actually no, I'll chuck in my own curveball. I would go with invisibility, because as a journalist, just think of the stories I can write.
Oh. He stole my list.
I'm next.
Did you guys give him my list or something when I wasn't looking?
Yeah, thanks for sending that, guys.
I'm next. I call next.
You're next.
guys.
Okay, you go next then. You go next. Stop hitting us. Stop hitting us.
First, I think you guys all know time manipulation.
You stole that from me.
Time.
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
My second one would probably be to. Oh, see, that's really hard, isn't it? Super speed.
that's a good one. Good one. Like the Flash.
Don't look at me for answers. You asked the question. You made it harder for everybody, so you got to answer it yourself. Sorry, nobody's here. Leave a message.
And then, I could pick, like, so if I touch this mic over here, I could turn into a donkey. I could
What?
turn anything.
Material
I got,
manipulation, right?
Yes, I got that from the Eternals movie.
Yeah.
I thought you meant you turned into a donkey if you touched it. That would be a weird
But
superpower.
I pick when I want to use it. So my dad.
Oh, we've got some Spurs players that put on a Spurs kit and turn into donkeys. So is that a power?
Yeah, Spurs have got that superpower. Yeah.
Go on, then. What's your 3? Oh, well, he's still going.
You.
Me? You let him go first.
You.
No, me. Well, you know mine. Invisibility.
No copy.
Well, there's only like 12 people.
You're going to run out of superpowers.
Sorry, he's leaving the interview now. Goodbye. Now I'm invisibility, super speed. I'm not worried about super strength because I can hit you and run away. So, and then I guess, I want to be able to fly around the world because airline travel and gas is, as you guys have, petrol is getting expensive. No, he gave up. He gave away flying.
Oh,
yeah.
For super strength?
He went with super strength, invisibility, and
he gave away super strength.
Flying was my top one.
Yeah.
Oh, he kept super strength?
Yeah.
No, he kept flying.
No, and super strength. He keeps it all.
Let me go to the man himself. What 3 did you keep, Ali?
I had flying, strength, invisibility.
So he kept, instead of strength, I'm swapping it with speed. So I only plagiarized 66% of his answer.
I think your superhero power would be super copying, quite frankly.
There you go. See, he knows. My plagiarism is one of my superpowers. Your 3 quickly.
My 3. Okay. Now I need to stand up for this one. As you see our player cards, right? 84, 84.
Yeah.
Bull crap. I am way better than him. 63 pace, butchered it. 82 so butchered. 78 butchered. Dribbling's all right. I want ability to make my FIFA card better. 84, disgraceful. I should be at least 60 and Chris should be 20. The ability to read minds so that I know the manager's tactics. And
yeah, but it just ruins everything for you in your life.
But like I gotta
but
win.
then you win.
I gotta win.
Then you win. He's worse than Mourinho. He doesn't want curveballs. That's why. Okay. Mind reading. Yeah.
Better penalty taker. And
power kick.
A little
power
bit.
legs. Super strength legs. What?
No, I had the strength in my penalty. I hit post though.
Not get better grades.
Ouch.
Retiring.
Man.
This is 3-2 Spurs boys.
You're get 3 answers before he throws you under any more buses.
I'll take better grades.
You're
There you
welcome.
go.
Thank you, Chris.
I would say.
I think. Sorry.
I would say I'm not sure they're going to make a movie about your superhero character. It might not translate well to the big screen.
Of course, they can make a movie about our superhero character because I'll plagiarize a script from somewhere else. That's my superpower. He'll mind manipulate them, and then we'll have him running around. We're sorted. We'll get you a role in there. Don't you worry.
Excellent.
What do you want to say quickly?
So mine was time manipulation, super speed, and what was the last one?
The ability to stop talking. No, that was not going to happen.
I don't think I picked my third one.
Yes, you did.
What was it?
Where do you go with speed, strength,
What?
and your time manipulation?
Oh,
and your material manipulation.
Oh yeah, I changed.
You gotta start remembering your own answers.
Yeah, the donkeys and all
Listen,
that.
Alan's got a family to get back to. Let's get his final question in, and let the man go to his family, please.
I switched the material thing for teleporting.
Teleporting. Okay, there. No more switches.
That's all I wanted.
That's it. We're gonna put him on hold now.
Okay.
You got one wrap up question here for Mr. Gold.
Sadly, fun 49 minutes. Had a great time, but
It's 49.
everything. Yeah, 49 minutes.
Sorry, Ali. We told you 30.
That's fine. That's fine.
We Indians are bad with numbers.
Time manipulation. It's all right.
Time manipulation. There you go.
All good things have to come to an end. But our last question is, how do you feel about coming top 4, and what do you think we could accomplish next season?
Big things. Big things. I think finishing top 4 was huge. I think it brings more money into the club. It helps you attract better players. I think it gives the likes of Conte, Kane, and Son the belief that they can push on from there. And like I say, Tottenham, everything I'm hearing, they're going to back Conte as well. They're going to give him what he wants. I think the Champions League plays a big part in that. And that means next season, look, as Conte keeps telling us, and he's absolutely right, Manchester City and Liverpool are a level above everyone at the moment. You can't just say we're going to go out and we're going to win the league. But I think what's key for Tottenham is they build a squad that's capable of at least challenging up there.
Yes.
And if they can do that, it's going to be a brilliant season for all of us.
Well, to be fair, we did challenge them. We took all 6 points from City and 2 out of Liverpool. So if we can, knocked down the top dogs already. The other 17 should be pretty easy for us.
This is true, but it's about having the squad to be able to do that week in, week out against everyone.
Yes, and the right mentality. Yeah, 100%. Well, we hope you're right, and we hope the right mentality finally sets in over the summer. Big summer ahead.
Yeah.
It's going to be like Christmas every day. Hoping we're unwrapping a new player every day. Reading Mr. Gold announcing we got this man in, we got this man in. We're looking forward to a lot of this from you, sir.
Looking forward to it as well.
Many curveballs. Many curveballs there's going to be.
No.
Because on one, is there a curveball? I don't know. Is that Dad said if we could take down the 2 top dogs, leaving 18. But you said 17.
17. We don't count ourselves, do we?
How are you going to play ourselves?
Thank you, son. Nice talking to you.
Some time manipulation, so you can go back.
It's messing with the mind. It's messing with the mind. Ali, thank you so much for joining us on the debut of Off the Pitch with the 3 Spurs boys. We really, truly appreciate your time. We know how in demand you are, and you've got your family as well to be concerned about and spending time with them. So we can't thank you enough for giving us an hour when we asked for a half hour.
Yeah.
Keep up the great work. We truly appreciate all the insight you give us into football overall, not just Tottenham. You're very neutral in your views, and we appreciate that because it's not just one-angled kind of pro this or pro that. You kind of really make people think and inspire conversation with it. So we truly appreciate that. We're fans. Hopefully we've made you a fan of us now. And anybody out there, get over, check out Ali's. He's got a YouTube channel going. He's got the print work going. The man is everywhere. If you need to know anything about Tottenham, go to Mr. Alasdair Gold. So anything you'd like to add? Where can the people find you?
They know where to find me. There's stupid faces everywhere. That's fine. I just want to say thank you so much to you guys. It's been great. Honestly, I wouldn't have done it if I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. And I absolutely have loved every minute of it. It's been great fun. I love talking about things that are not just football. So all of your superhero stuff as well has been brilliant. And, yeah, what you're doing is great. And I think you're only going to get bigger and better as well. It's fantastic.
We hope so. And if you feel like sharing any contacts or players or other people that you want to send over our way, don't be shy. We look forward to speaking to you again soon. You have yourself a great day, and thank you for your time.
Bye.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Guys, great debut show, I think. Yeah. Off the pitch. We're off the pitch. That's it. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. I really enjoyed myself. Hopefully you guys did too. We had the legend, Alasdair Gold, in here himself. What a treat for us to be able to bring him into our home and have a conversation with him. Just really overwhelmed right now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We look forward to introducing you to more people that are part of the YouTube community, other Spurs members, other Spurs community supporters, Spurs supporters, other football supporters, and just wonderful people like we've got to meet. So I'll let the boys do the sign off. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Hold up. A sign off can only be done with us two. Goodbye.
Oh, I'm sorry. This
Bye-bye.
is where I got to get out of the way.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Okay. All right, then. All right. If you're kicking me out again.
Yep. No, go back to you.
Okay.
You guys made me sit on a lower chair to make me look short. In fact, I'm really tall and nice. Remember, guys, today is to do. Come on, you Spurs!
We sang in France, we sang in Spain, we sing in the sun and we sing in the rain. They tried to stop us, but they didn't. The thing we love most is being a kid, being a kid, being a kid. The thing we love most is being a kid.
Come on, you Spurs!
Make sure to like and subscribe.